Ladies and gentlemen, welcome this morning and all eyes on the jobless claim numbers. The futures are a little bit negative here. S&P 500 with minus 0.22. The Dow futures also slightly negative 0.27 and Nasdaq almost neutral. Russell also a little bit, a quarter percentage point negative. So as you can see, everything is waiting for the jobless claim numbers. And if you are looking into the economic calendar, as we do usually this mornings, then as you see nothing. Let me just get the right one here. So, yes, here we go. So we have Thursday, the 18th of June. So we just crossed mid of month. And we are seeing in the UK, there's a couple of interesting and important economical data, but we looking here in the US, this will be the most important thing that US is waiting for. The initial jobless claim numbers from the last week actually. So it's like a trailing data, economic data, but therefore it's interesting because this is like a more or less real-time data what the job market out there is doing. So we have seen that the jobs can actually show us how the overall economy is. And just end of or beginning of this month, it was, as you remember, the May job report that helped the whole market to go higher. So if we having here a positive expectation, a positive outcome, then obviously this will help the market. So this will be quite interesting to see. It will come around 1 hour before the market opens, guys. So 1 hour before the S&P 500 and other the whole stock market is starting, then you see this claims, and this will be interesting if how many people actually claimed for jobless. And it seems that, this number is slowly going more and more down, which is, a positive sign. And I'm very curious to see if the expectations of the consensus of 1.3 million can be, beaten on the lower side, because I think this is the number, previous it was 1.5 million. So this week it's 1.3 million expected. So I'm very curious to see that number. Otherwise, we have a couple of news, guys, and let me see. Okay. One thing that I found quite interesting was a news of Beyond Meat, guys. So Beyond Meat is actually launching something called Cookout Classic at most affordable price point yet, for their goal of making plant-based meat accessible to all. So actually on the June 22nd, we will see that Beyond Meat, and this could be the gain yesterday in the stock, because for Beyond Meat it's important to at one point have the same or cheaper prices for artificial meat than for the normal meat. This will be a game changer, and they're starting now with this series here, and this will be available at Walmart and other shops like Target and retailers nationwide. So 22nd of June. I don't know exactly how it plays out, because when I'm looking into it, I found a picture which looked like that, guys. So there's apparently 10 burgers inside, but it seems, I'm not sure, guys, so let me know if you know that those looks a little bit small. So maybe it's like a small version of them, right? Let me know in the comments if you know anything more about that. I didn't have the time yet to look into it, but I just saw that this is, the first go to become cheaper than the overall meat industry, which will be, breathtaking, obviously. Then we have something that I saw which was quite interesting in terms of market average. Now, if we are looking into history, then we see that the market average monthly stock returns from the 19th until the 2018s usually are quite the same. What does it mean? So as you can see here, January, February, March, we have mainly positive months up to June. June is like a more neutral month. July, we gain a little bit on average, and then we are having August and September. So also those travel months, a lot of people are going, for some vacations. But this is the usual, let's say, go for the market. And if you are looking then into the S&P compared to a couple of years average, and this is where it gets interesting, is that we actually seeing that the 2019 returns have been very consistent with that. So as you can see, this is the gray one is X 2007, 2008, 2009. The S&P 500 index is about the dark blue line or chart line, right? Which is what we just looked into, and this is on a yearly basis. And then you have the 2009, which was very consistent with that. So as you can see, the stock market has a type of pattern. Now let us see how the overall year will end, but it could be that it falls into the pattern, which would mean the following, guys. If we're just looking into this kind of patterns and thinking, okay, the stock market could move into this kind of direction, then we will see that, the next couple of months maybe should be plus minus 0 or neutral or whatsoever. And then towards September, August, October, November, December, we could see an uptick in the overall stock market, which would be interesting to see. And I believe that, this is something always interesting to watch, how the historic data really sometimes repeat itself at this point where, it's almost scary how predictable it's sometimes, right? So I found this interesting. It's basically, I think it's posted by Wall Street Jesus, one of Twitter guy that you could follow as well, because he's putting out very interesting kind of facts or charts like that. I think he's more of a bullish side, so I think this should imply that towards the end of the year we should maybe, according to this data, more of a uptick in the market. So let's have a look what the futures are telling us. So we have the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. All of this will not move much before we have the jobless claim numbers, I believe. Then we have the Russell. It's also a little bit negative, as we said, and the crude oil also a little bit negative. The VIX is very important to watch right now because, in the last couple of days, we saw a little bit of an uptick of VIX. If the VIX goes up, this is usually a sign that the stock market go lower, because as you know, the VIX was very, very high when the markets is very, very low. Okay, so this is important to understand. The stock market is opening in 6 hours and 37 minutes. Other than that, gold is also neutral. Seems like everything is pretty much neutral until we have the first data that can imply us the next stop into the markets. Other than that, nothing quite. Nikkei is a little bit down, but nothing that should concern us or big news. So, those are the important things to know this morning already. So, Other than that, I believe that, I will be back today with a very special vlog, because today marks 1 year on YouTube, so I'm looking forward to that. And also tonight with the overall market live stream, I'm looking always forward to that as well, with interaction with you guys. Let me know in the comment what you think about the jobless claim numbers, and don't forget to thumb up this live stream. I highly appreciate that, and I see you in just a bit. So thank you very much, and have a successful stock market day.